Hello everyone! In this video I'll be talking about my master thesis, integrating model-driven IoT applications with their environment. Before I start, let's have a quick look at the definition of what the environment means in our scope. The environment is defined as the surroundings or conditions in which a program operates. For an Internet of Things application, we can split this into the physical and the digital environment. The physical environment is the real world with which the application interacts via sensors and actuators. The digital environment can be seen as other applications with which an application communicates. So this means that our goal in this thesis more concretely was to integrate applications with sensors and actuators on their devices and integrate applications with each other. Let's start with the integration in the physical environment. The goals in regard to that were achieving separation of concern by splitting up hardware-specific and hardware-agnostic code. We wanted the code that directly retrieves sensor or provides actuator data to run independently from the application logic. We wanted to do this to achieve a modular solution for Internet of Things applications, so that on a device where multiple applications are deployed, one at a time, they don't always have to bring the sensor or actuator software with them, but can connect to the sensor and actuator software that is already present on the device. We wanted to enable the components to connect to a fitting piece of hardware at runtime instead of the specific sensor or actuator being set at design time. For the integration in its digital environment, our goals were that we wanted to enable communication between applications while keeping them independently deployable and runnable. An application should not need a connection to another application, but instead create and resolve connections during runtime. We also wanted to keep the coupling between applications loose by only providing an asynchronous communication interface. Let's have a look at the example that I'll show you the implementation of my concepts with. It's a simple basic input-output example with a source application that consumes data from a sensor and that can connect to a sync application during runtime, which publishes the data to an actuator. So let's have a look at what this example would look like on model level. We have a look at the source application side of what I just showed you. And what you can see here is the outermost component example with its two subcomponents, source and sync. Let's have a look at the source first. The source component has the port sensor, which should connect to a sensor to provide it with data. And as you can see in the example, this port is not connected to another component. Instead, for the component source, an empty config file is supplied. And in the empty config file, the port with its name sensor is mapped to a type of sensor that it should connect to. This type matches to a configuration file on the device which contains the exact topic for this type of sensor to which the component port can then connect to. The application can also connect to another application, the sync application. As you can see here, it looks like the application already has a sync. But this sync, when you click on it, it's just an interface component. That means it has no implementation, but it's only it works as a placeholder for another application. It has an incoming port, which is connected here to the outgoing port of the source to indicate the flow of data. And now I'm going to show you what this looks like when the application is started. So I'm going to go ahead and start both applications, and they will both automatically connect to the appropriate sensors and actuators. And I'm going to open the log file of the actuator of the sync application, but as you can see, there's no data coming in. This is because the two applications aren't connected with each other yet. and this is what I'm gonna do. I'm doing requests for both of the applications to connect to each other, and as you can see now, the applications did connect with each other, and data is arriving on the actuator of the sync application, because the sync application or the sync component connected to the appropriate actuator, and also the applications connected with each other. So that's it, a very quick introduction into the topic of integrating model-driven IoT applications with the environment, as well as an example for the MontiThings developer. If you want to learn more about this topic, feel free to have a look at my master thesis. Thank you for watching this video.